Good evening and welcome to our English news. Update on maritime boundary talks between Vanuatu and France.
Negotiations remain tough.
Vanuatu has provided an update on its ongoing discussions with France regarding the maritime boundary. Vanuatu and France were unable to reach an agreement on the issue of Matu and Handa Islands during their second round of talks held earlier this month. Deputy Prime Minister Johnny Guanabo is leading Vanuatu's negotiating team in these discussions. In a statement released this week, Mr. Guanabo said it was clear from the latest meeting that the position of both countries remained too far apart to reach a compromise at this stage. Mr. Guanabo said France proposed a joint management arrangement for the two islands, but Vanuatu has maintained its position that full sovereignty over Matu and Handa Islands should be returned to Vanuatu.
The President of the Republic of Vanuatu, His Excellency Nike Furuparafu, is on an official visit to Torpa Province to engage with community leaders and residents. This is President Furuparafu's first visit to Torpa Province since his election as head of state.
A high-level delegation led by the President of the Republic of Vanuatu, His Excellency Nike Furuparafu, arrived at Torpa, Nasara, where they received a traditional welcome ceremony in front of the Torpa provincial headquarters by chiefs and community leaders. The ceremony was held to officially welcome the President to Torpa province. In his official address, President Furuparafu said that his visit is part of his ongoing program to engage directly with the leaders and communities across the country. President of the Torpa Provincial Government Council, Roy Adams, said his office was pleased to welcome the President to the province, saying the visit provides an opportunity for the national government to better understand and support Torpa's development priorities. Mr. Adams went on to say that one of Torpa's biggest development challenges is connectivity by air, sea and land. He said the province's scattered island geography continues to create major transportation and communication difficulties.
As concerns over illegal drugs and transnational crimes continues to rise across the Pacific region, Vanuatu is taking new steps to strengthen its border security. At the opening of the Porters or Country's first National Summit on Border Security and Preparedness this week in Port Vila, the Australian Federal Police conducted a live demonstration showcasing how police dogs can support law enforcement by detecting hidden illegal drugs and cash.
Australian Federal Police dog teams demonstrated their capability during a live exercise at the opening of the first National Summit on Border Security and Preparedness in Port Vila. During the demonstration, the dogs showed how they can detect concealed cannabis and cash, an important capability that can assist law enforcement agencies in identifying and preventing illegal drugs and other forms of transnational crime from entering Vanuatu. Australian Federal Police Superintendent Alex Mitchell-Miss said his team was pleased to be in Vanuatu to participate in the summit, share expertise and experience, and support the country's effort to strengthen its border security.
I'm excited to be here today to talk to you about our canine capability and the joint operation we currently have with the Vanuatu Police Force and the Australian Federal Police called Operation Green Shield. So we've gathered here today to talk at this summit about the importance of border security, and one capability that we're excited to bring for the first time ever in Australia and for Vanuatu to come together to establish this canine capability under the joint operation. Now, the canines we have here today are able to detect cannabis, firearms or musket, cash and many drugs including meth, ice or cocaine. Now, there's no secret there have been some significant seizures in Vanuatu over the last year, so we want to work together to make sure that we can create these capabilities in Vanuatu to strengthen our Pacific and our border security together.
The police dog program is part of the broader cooperation between Australia and Vanuatu aimed at building stronger border protection capability. Over the next 2 weeks, the Australian Federal Police will work closely with the Vanuatu Police Force to provide practical training on handling and deploying police dogs in law enforcement operation. Following the training, several Vanuatu police officers will travel overseas to undertake advanced specialist training in police dog operations, helping to build local expertise and strengthen the country's long-term policing capability. The first national summit on border security and preparedness continues with government agencies, security partners, and stakeholders discussing ways to ensure Vanuatu is better prepared to respond to emerging security challenges. Speaking at the opening of the summit this week, the Minister of Internal Affairs said Vanuatu must be prepared for future challenges, particularly those that could threaten border security and the safety of communities. At the conclusion of the summit, stakeholders are expected to deliver recommendations and actions plans to help Vanuatu address issues related to illegal drugs, transnational crime, and other security challenges affecting the region.
As the threats of illicit drugs and HIV continues to grow across the Pacific region, Vanuatu is taking new steps to strengthen both border security and public health. As the first national summit on border security and preparedness for emerging drug and HIV threats in Port Vila, the Ministry of Health confirmed that the country recorded its first ever HIV case linked to injecting drug use through the sharing of contaminated syringe. The information highlights a new public health challenge for the country.
Vanuatu recorded its first HIV case linked to injection drug use in 2025, where the virus was transmitted through the sharing of injection equipment. According to the Ministry of Health's Communicable Disease Manager, Florida Sito Padai, the case was an unfortunate incident and serves as a reminder of the risk associated with injecting drugs. Since 2002, Vanuatu has recorded a total of 22 HIV cases. Of these, one case was linked to injecting drug use, while 7 people have died from AIDS-related illnesses. Mrs. Sito Padai said that of the 15 active HIV cases currently being managed in the country, 66% are in Sheva province. Mrs. Sito Padai also explained that there are 4 main ways people in Vanuatu can contract HIV. According to the Ministry of Health, there has been only one drug-related HIV case recorded since 2025, and to date, no additional cases linked to injecting drug use have been reported.
In international news, the United States has launched another round of military strikes against Iran on Wednesday, marking the second consecutive night of fighting. The latest military action represents a significant escalation, even as both sides have been engaged in talks aimed at bringing the conflict to an end. More report from CBS News.
The president said today that even though the ceasefire is over, the nuclear talks between the two countries can continue. But with each side trading airstrikes and insults, it's pretty difficult to understand the way forward.
They're scum, and so we don't like them. I don't like them. And they're evil people.
President Trump unleashed on Iran for attacking 3 commercial tankers in the Strait of Hormuz this week.
They're liars, they're cheats, they're sick people.
Just last month, Trump called Iran's leaders very rational people. But tonight, he's ordered more airstrikes along the Strait of Hormuz, which follows a heavy bombing campaign Tuesday night, when U.S. forces hit about 80 targets inside Iran, including its main naval base and dozens of small boats. Iran says it responded by firing missiles and drones at 85 military targets inside Bahrain and Kuwait. The volleys, the most significant since the U.S. and Iran signed a memo of understanding about 3 weeks ago. But the president said Iran's actions have killed the deal.
There's something wrong with them. They're cuckoo. As far as I'm concerned, it's over.
Oil prices spiked on that news. Part of the reason why by the end of today, the president was trying to turn down the temperature.
I think anything that happens is going to be over very quickly, and will only make it safer, including for oil.
Also at the NATO summit, the president met with Volodymyr Zelensky and announced plans to let Ukraine start building Patriot missiles. But he also broached a three-way meeting with Russia's Vladimir Putin.
I don't know that he'd go to Moscow. Maybe he would. Would you go to Moscow?
It's difficult. There are a lot of Ukrainian drones there.
Leaders here at the summit said their host, Turkish President Erdogan, gifted them all personalized revolvers and a box of ammunition. The White House didn't confirm Trump's gift, but the British Prime Minister said he had to leave his here because it would be illegal to bring it home. Tony?
Ed, speaking of gifts, the president flew into Turkey on the new Air Force One, the one given to him by the Qatari government, but he left on the old Air Force One. Why is that?
Yeah, the White House says the new plane was sent to a U.S. military base in the United Kingdom so American troops there could take a look at it. But it raised questions here on whether there was a security issue with the new plane. The jet was recently retrofitted to Air Force standards, but done so on an expedited timeline. Remember, Turkey shares a border with Iran, and the president, when he was asked about the plane today, didn't answer directly, but said he was #1 on Iran's kill list. The president, however, is taking the new jet home from England tonight.
In sports, Paradise Swim and Arts Academy sees potential in supporting other sports federations, schools and communities through the resources they have available.
This year alone, the Swim Academy received more than 2,000 towels from Carnival Cruise Line to distribute to schools that are part of its programs. The owner of the Swim Academy, Pussy Vasconcelos, said she believes it is important to share the extra towels with other federations and schools that may need them. Pussy said it is important that when the Academy receives a large amount of donation like this, they share them with others because more donations are expected to come in the future. She also pointed out that they have seen organizations such as tennis and beach volleyball working closely with children and supporting youth activities. However, there are still other federations they would like to reach out to and provide small donations to. The idea from the swimming instructor is to ensure that donations received from their major sponsor, Carnival Cruise Line, to not go to waste, but instead help other sporting groups and community. Mohammed School in Portville also benefit from the Academy's sharing program. Last week, the Academy visited the school and donated towels to students. This initiative is part of the Academy's ongoing efforts, especially through its programs to support and give back to the wider community.
And with sports, it brings us to the end of today's English news with me, Lodian Wellin, wishing you all a pleasant weekend.